Now in today's video, I'm going to be showing you why as a man you should never be spending large amounts of time with women. And I don't care if you're dating them, I don't care if she's your girlfriend, I don't care if she's your wife, I really don't give a shit what your circumstance is. I'm going to be showing you as a man why spending large amounts of time with women is not in your best interest. This will not work out in your favor, and I'm even going to show you how to get around this if there is some personality changes that you need to make in order to have more life success. But this is one of the biggest detractors of success that men don't even realize. And when you actually start to understand female nature at this level, your life will get much better, rest assured. So I'm going to explain. Now here's the thing, my words really don't mean shit, because like in life you actually need to back up what you say with some sort of success. So inside of my movement, inside of my community, a guy in my private community goes, so this girl I've been talking to won't stop trying to talk to me. And then if you shift your eyes down below, he says, I didn't mean for her to like me this much. Do you understand that majority of men are in the total opposite situation? They're in a situation where they have no options, they're completely lonely, they're chasing around all of these dates, trying to actually make sure that, you know, they show up on a date without getting flaked on. All of this shit goes away when you actually master the language of women. So I invite you to join us inside of that, because that movement is growing every single day. We're getting very close to almost 300 members now. So I'm going to explain this to you the best I can. The reason why you do not want to spend large amounts of time with women or women that you're dating is because when you are very close to the feminine in that aspect, I wrote this down word for word, and I'm going to say this word for word how I wrote it, because it's important. Never spend large amounts of time with women, because it makes a man's heart grow weak. You get weaker the longer you are around women as a man. You start to take on some of those emotional tendencies that leave your judgment clouded. So here's what I mean. The weakest situation you will ever be in as a man is if you're in a monogamous relationship with a girl and every single day you come home and you're cuddling up to a pair of ass cheeks right there. Every single day you have that touch, you have that connection, you have that intimacy. You have to understand, spending large amounts of time with women makes you weaker. It makes you more emotionally volatile. It makes you weaker as a man. It makes you less disciplined. It makes you less regimented. I'm going to give you an example. When you spend a large amount of time with women, here's what happens. You're less focused, you're less directional in your purpose, and you shut off mentally easier. So here's what I mean by that. Majority of guys do not have what they want in life. Okay, so what I can tell you is their financial circumstance is not where they want it to be. Their life is not where they want it to be. The career path they're in is not what they want. Their fitness is not at the level they want it to be. Their health is not optimized. They're not solid in who they are as a man. And I'm going to tell you this. Majority of men, even in their 30s and 40s, have still not made themselves a man because they don't know themselves and they don't live by principle. Well, how do you slowly learn yourself? How do you slowly figure yourself out? And how do you live by principle? You do this by having focus and time directed into those areas. Well, here's what happens. What you're going to notice is when you're dating women, women will oftentimes have a mindset where when the day is over, or let's say they're done with work, they will turn off mentally when 4:30 hits. And then they go to their boyfriend, and naturally their boyfriend doesn't want to be boring, or naturally their boyfriend feels as if they have to hold their attention. So what happens is the boyfriend shuts off too. And now, while you should be in the gym, while you should be learning a skill, where you should be trying to figure out how to make more money, where you should be trying to figure out how to level up your circumstance, where you should be doing that, you're focused on going and walking the dogs. You're focused on going and eating ice cream. You're focused on doing all this shit that you don't want to do. You're focused on laying down, watching 2 hours of reality TV to appease her, to coddle her, to feel good, to tell yourself this is good. And you know what? I'm past the point of giving a shit anymore how this sounds. I don't give a shit anymore if this pisses someone off. I don't give a shit if this aligns with what you think about your past circumstances or relationships or not. I genuinely don't give a fuck anymore. And here's why. Most men are not where they want to be. Most men didn't have fathers to tell them how to be a man. Most men didn't have anybody to tell them this is how the world works. Most men didn't have a single guy in their corner help guide them through life as to what it takes to be a man, because I'm going to let you in on a secret. A man has to make himself a man. You do not become a man through age. You become a man through trials and tribulation that accumulates into wisdom. So the only way that you get there, and the only way you get to that point in life, is by doing things polar opposite to how majority of modern men are living, because majority of modern men have no life success, and this goes far beyond their dating life. This is how they carry themselves, this is how they are emotionally, this is how they view the world, this is how they view their dating situation and their dating circumstance. Spending large amounts of time with women makes you weaker. Now I'm going to tell you this too, this is why most men have turned into total pansy asses, because you know all this, and since you're still so scared to lose those boobs, you still won't make the right decision anyways. You still will make all of the mistakes. You're still living in scarcity. You still don't have other guys in your corner. And see, this is why I'm telling you this. This is why I made this community. This is why I made this movement. This is why I made this brotherhood. Because when men come together, now you actually have guys in your corner who are living this same path too. You understand that this is a bit different, right? Do you recognize the incredible and unfair advantage you have over majority of men when you actually live this way? But it takes you actually making a decision. It takes you deciding today that you're going to be stronger than you were yesterday. It takes you deciding that you want dating success. It takes you deciding in your life that you want to be a strong, masculine man. It takes you actually deciding that you're going to live differently. And it takes you actually realizing that for once in your goddamn life, you're willing to put yourself first. This is what most men don't do. So there's two types of situations you can be in. You can be the guy that goes out and gets ice cream every single night and goes and worries about forehead kisses and then sits there and lays with her and watches 2 hours of reality TV. And then you know what happens is eventually she sees that that's what you're focused on, and then she just leaves your ass or she cheats on you. And I don't care how this sounds anymore, because the truth is that it's true. She leaves you or she cheats on you. Or a guy who's taller comes along and then he's able to take her out on a date instead of you. Or a guy who makes more money comes along and he's able to charm her or use charisma to sweep her off her feet. Because here's the thing that you got to understand too. The more life skills you make, you do understand this, right? The more money you make typically should translate into some ability to generate some sort of competency skills. Competency skills stem into charm, charisma, how you make other people feel, being at the cause of someone's emotions instead of at the effect. The more you skill stack, technically the more charming, the more amazing, the more charismatic, the more influential, the better you should be around women, because you now fundamentally live differently. So I can't make these decisions for you. You have to actually come to this on your own terms. But it starts by you recognizing that spending a large amount of time with women is not going to leave you in a productive state. It's not going to help you. It's not going to get you to where you want to be in life. It makes a man's heart grow weak. You're going to notice, here's what happens when you spend a large amount of time with women. You're texting her back and forth. She typically uses emojis, and now this one time she didn't use an emoji. A guy like me, who truly doesn't give a shit, I'm going to look at that phone and not care, or not even notice, because I got so many other things going on. Most guys, they say, oh my God, it's the 4th text message and now I don't have an emoji. Now their anxiety spikes, they get scared, anxious, they get nervous, and now they wonder if something's wrong. It's those little things that add up. Okay, it's the emotional volatility that adds up. It's you not feeling centered in your masculine frame. It's you starting to skip workouts so that way you can have more pizza and ice cream dates. Do you understand how this stacks up? So then, I'm 28 years old. Guys look at me and they say, well, how did you get to where you are? How did you do this? How did you build this channel? How did you get to your life circumstance? How are you in this situation? I'm in this situation because I put myself first. Okay, you got to understand that. And when you put yourself first, women actually see that. And then women see that you're safe and stable. So this is what you got to understand. When you are not focused on yourself, women actually view you as a less safe option. So you're in this logical brain state where you think, okay, I'm showing up for her, I'm being emotionally available, I'm spending large amounts of time with her, she should see that I'm safe, and she should see that I'm a good bet for survival and our future. This couldn't be further from the truth. The more time you invest with a woman, she knows that this isn't going to lead to productivity, she knows that this doesn't lead to your development as a man, and then her hardwiring biologically is sitting there and going, oh my gosh, this guy isn't going and getting food. Okay, so majority of, what I'm trying to say is, you got to look at it this way. Her biology is still the same hardwiring from hundreds of years ago. So the man had to go out and the man had to hunt. The man had to get food. The man had to get shelter. The man had to get resources, which means he wasn't sitting there laying down watching reality TV. So here's the funniest thing that you got to understand. This is things you have to do to get success with women, because this is why I'm telling you, it's internal high value. It is not external high value that leads to materialistic status on paper. You can be the guy who's tallest, with the best jewelry, with the biggest bank account, who has all of the social media followers, and if you start making these mistakes internally, spending too much time with her, failing interest tests, being too predictable, not focus on other things, you will lose that attraction that you had with that woman too. So I'm trying to tell you this to give you the truth. Spending large amounts of time with women makes a man's heart grow weak, and I'm going to tell you this: you are truly not a strong, stable man's man, a masculine man, until you no longer have a dependency or need for intimacy, until you no longer have an attachment to intimacy, until that no longer holds any weight or power over you. It is not until you can look down at your cell phone and see, you know, I don't really like her attitude just now through that text message, and instead of chasing and pursuing this for a date, I'm going to just never talk to her ever again. It's not until you can actually do that type of shit that you're not going to get to where you want to be until you actually live by that sort of code and that sort of principle. So as I develop over the next couple of years, as I get into my 30s, I'm going to try my absolute best to develop these kind of messages for you, and I only hope that in time I get better and better at this. If you like this video, you can hit the like button, you can comment and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.